What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Shiftworked Armory. So today's video is a video that I've been wanting to make for a while, and more so because it kind of gets back to the roots of why I started this channel, and that was budget builds. Building ARs on a budget, finding parts on a budget. Whatever your budget is, that's up to you. But as somebody that works, shift work and works a rotating schedule, I want to make every bit of my dollar go as far as possible. Um, so with that said, today's topic is the topic of budget lights, and why budget lights. There are so many different weapon lights out there. We've all seen them. They're all over the gun tubers channels. They're all over Reddit, Facebook. I mean, everybody has them. Everybody has them on the end of their rifles, and I'm not for 1 minute, um, you know, downplaying the capability of those lights, and the longevity that those lights have. I mean, it's a piece of equipment. You're gonna run it. It's gonna break down. I mean, it's gonna everything has an expiration, right? So I'm not discrediting those bigger companies that make more expensive weapon lights, right? But the question is for you, do you need a $200 weapon light? Do you need a $300 weapon light, or even 400? I mean, they get outrageously expensive, right? So for me, when it comes to weapon lights, I look at a few factors, right? So the biggest is going to be functionality, right, and ease of use, right? So something that is has a pressure switch, right? That's easily accessible. It's right here. It's already in your grip. So when you need to activate it, it's just right there with a press of the button, right? Press the thumb, and you've got your light, right? It's there. Um, you know, One of the other biggest things is um, how it mounts, how it attaches, right? So you want something that's going to be secure on your rifle, right? Because I mean, even though it is 5.56, we do have a little bit of recoil there, right? So you want something that's going to stay attached firmly, right? So whether that's pick rail, or whether that's M-LOK. Um, I have one here that is near and dear to me because it's one of the first weapon lights that I bought. And it's just pick mounted, right? But if you're gonna go that route, you definitely want to make sure that you have something that um, has lugs, right? It's gonna kind of help uh, prolong the life of this firearm. That way it's not just getting beat to death with that recoil on top of that firearm, or however you have mounted, right? Uh, you know, this thing right here it's lasted me probably, I don't know, close to 2 years, probably 500-600 rounds, right? And it still goes strong. I mean, it still lights up. It has a laser on it. It still lights up. It's bright as heck. And every once in a while, I find myself reattaching this thing just because it's fun. And I mean, obviously, as you can tell, it matches the paint scheme of this AR pistol here. So my reason behind shying away from these 200, 300, $400 weapon lights is realistically what it comes down to is the need, right? So everybody that does reviews on them, they're outside, it's dark, right? And they're showing how far the beam is on this thing and how much it lights up the outside, right? But for me, like that's obsolete, right? Because when you're outside, unless enemies start dropping out of the sky at nighttime, right? You're not going to be outside with a flashlight unless you're practicing for whatever reason shooting with a flashlight at night, right? You're going to be under nods with IR, for that application, right? So for this application, like this is going to be inside the home, right? So you're going to be, something goes bump in the night, you're going to grab this bad boy and you're going to be easing around your house, right? So you want something that's going to light up where you need it to in the house, right? You want something that is bright enough that it's going to, deter somebody, and, if need be, then unfortunately, if you had to pull a trigger, that's what you do, right? But that's what it's for, right? Like you're inside your home, you're sweeping your house, right? You're not going to go outside with this AR and somebody's in your shed out back, right? Or somebody's in your barn across the field, and you go outside, right, and you light them up with this light. Well, what happens next, right? Are you gonna shoot them? You gonna kill them? You're facing some serious issues with the law. You go that route, right? I mean, obviously, unless it's in self-defense, that's a whole other realm. We can go on and on about that whole thing, right? But that's, in my opinion, that's not what weapon light's for, right? We're outside. We're not using flashlights outside. I don't care that if we're outside training at nighttime and your weapon light has a beam that goes 300 yards, right? And you can light up on a target 300 yards at the size of the sun. That's not what this is about, right? We're going to be under nods. We're going to be using IR. We're not using a weapon light. So for the application here is can you spend $300 on weapon light if you want to? That's fine, right? That's your prerogative. $400, that's your prerogative, right? Or take something that has phenomenal brightness, right? Someone's going to light up your living quarters. Spend $100, $150, right? And take what you would have spent on something like a Surefire or whatever, right? And take that extra money and put that into something else on this AR, right? Maybe you're saving up for a more expensive optic, right? Every dollar counts. So if you can put back some extra money, instead of buying the expensive weapon light, put back the extra cash and put that into something else. Maybe you're wanting to get a can. That's extra money that can go towards that can. I mean, hell, that's even extra money for ammunition, right, to train with. So yeah, that's really what I wanted to get to in this video is why I prefer budget lights over the more expensive lights, right? So functionality, ease of use, what you're using it for, right, is the biggest thing. You know, is just those things. You're inside your house. You don't need a $400 light to sweep your house. So thank you for tuning in. If you like this video, please like it, share it, subscribe to the channel if you found this useful. Until next time, see you downrange.